Hi friends, hope you are all doing good. Today's video will be in English because we thought it can help many students who are planning to pursue their career in France. This video will try to cover most of the common doubts which students face when coming to France. How will be the education in France? Will there be part-times? Is French mandatory for professional jobs? So let's start by calling one of our dearest friend from 2018 Masters batch who is currently working.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Nice. So what's up?
Yeah, I'm taking consent for recording a video for YouTube. Is it okay
Mm-hmm.
for you?
Yes.
Okay, then let's start our chit chat. I have a few
Mm-hmm.
questions. Why did you choose France in front of USA, Canada, Australia?
Okay. So in my case, I was not prepared a year before to
Mm-hmm.
study for my, to study masters.
Mm-hmm.
So some students, they are really focused and they just know what to do, where to do, and on which subject they have to do. So they have a proper planning. So I did not have that, to be honest. So I just had 2, 3 months in my hand to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I could not write TOEFL or IELTS exam. So I concentrated on Europe. That was the first reason. And second reason is funding. Colleges in Europe offer qualitative education for comparatively lesser price. If
Yes.
if you compare to USA or Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no need to write GMAT or GRE exams or TOEFL exams. Of course, if you're not coming to France, I'm talking about France.
Yeah, yeah. You're
So
true.
due to these reasons, I chose France.
Okay, okay. So, is French mandatory to complete your masters in France?
No, it is not mandatory to complete masters in France if you opt for private university.
Okay. So, which university did you finish your masters?
My university did not pay me to advertise for them, so let's skip it for now.
Okay. So, which course?
Data and business analytics.
Okay. So which universities are good, like public universities or private universities? What do you think?
Generally, education in France is really, really good and qualitative and practice oriented, practical approach they do follow,
Mm-hmm.
both public and private. But public universities are a little tougher to get in, and the mode of teaching will be in French. It is not in English. So one has to know really good amount of French language to get into public university. It is mandatory. It is not a optional thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is mandatory.
Okay.
But public universities do offer education for a comparatively very less price. Say, for example, if in private university the tuition fees is, let's keep 10,000 euros,
Okay.
just an example.
Mm-hmm.
In private, it will be 200 or 300 euros per semester.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Just to give a comparison, these are
Mm-hmm.
not exact rates.
Okay.
The exact rates will be obviously updated on their websites.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
So
generally, to
you're
have an
telling that.
idea, so funding is comparatively, it is affordable,
Mhm.
but one has to know French because the teaching mode is in French. And it is a little tougher to get in because obviously they concentrate on local students first and then they allocate seats for international ones, the public ones. But private universities are expensive, but they are good.
Thank you. That was very insightful. So we'll go to
Okay.
our next question. So to
hmm
finish masters, is French needed?
I did not hear you.
To finish your masters, is French needed?
No, no,
Oh.
no. The mode of teaching is completely English.
Mm.
But of course, we do have the French classes, which is mandatory and it is mandatory to pass. But it is the introduction, it is the basic level, very basic level. So it is not a compulsion thing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. To get the internship, is French needed?
So when it comes to job, to
Mm-hmm.
get an internship, it is not needed. I'm just
Okay.
talking about the internships. No,
Mm-hmm.
it is not needed.
Okay. Thank you. Uh, did you do any part times during your master's course?
So the masters which I opted, the duration of the masters, it was 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have credits for each subject, right? For example, totally you have to get 90 credits or totally you have to get 120 credits.
Yeah.
If you opt for a master degree, which is 2 years of
Mm.
like the duration is 2 years, then those credits will be distributed for 4 semesters,
Okay.
and then you have some time, free time for yourself. But if you do master degree in a institute where the duration is 1 year, then you have to get all those credits in 1 year. So it is not like you go to the college for 4 hours and then you have time to rest. No, it is full fledged and it is very intense. The course are really intense. So 4 hours in the morning sessions and 4 hours in the afternoon session. So we really didn't have time. And sometimes, the language classes, it was like from 6 to 7 p.m.
Oh,
and all of those things.
okay.
So we really didn't have time to do any part-time.
Let's move on to our next question. How many hours
Okay.
you can work in part-time legally?
Okay. As international students, we can work up to 20 hours per week
Mm-hmm.
or 964 hours per year.
Okay.
The law in France, it generally allows the international students to work up to 964 hours per year,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to distribute it, it is 20 hours per week.
Okay. Okay. So what will be the basic pay in part-times?
Approximately, it depends on how many hours you're working and where you're working and which city.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, 10 to 11 euros per hour is the
Okay.
pay.
Okay. So can we save any money by doing part-times?
It depends. During school hours, if you don't have a lot of time to work as part time, then it will be difficult to save. But it will definitely help you to pay all your bills,
Mm-hmm.
your accommodation, your rent, groceries, and all those things. But eventually, if you work for a longer time, and in summers when you don't have college, you can definitely work for longer hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then yes, you can save a bit. Not like huge amount so that you can send to India and like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yes, you can. You definitely can save. It all depends on individual, your life and how you want to live your
Okay.
life,
Yeah, yeah, that's
expenses,
true.
all those things.
Okay. So what will be the monthly expenses in France?
Okay. It 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 really depends on the city you're living. If you go to the smaller cities, comparatively it is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But in Paris, bigger cities like that, it is generally expensive, and the area you live in, lot of. So in smaller cities, it is really comparatively affordable, and the rates are around 600 euros.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to bigger cities like Paris or any other bigger cities, generally around 800 or more.
Okay.
So it depends.
Okay. Okay. So are accommodations expensive?
Yes, they generally are. Again, it depends on where you are living, everything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, accommodations or groceries, if the cities are bigger, then obviously the rates are higher.
Okay.
But if you opt for a smaller city, then, or not in a very central part, if you don't live in a
Mm-hmm.
central part of the city,
Okay.
so then you get accommodations for relatively less price.
Okay. Okay. So do we get Indian grocery and are they expensive compared to local groceries?
Yes, we do get Indian groceries. And yes, they are comparatively expensive because obviously for the import taxes,
Mm-hmm.
it is expensive. And we also have a lot of Indian grocery stores,
Mm-hmm.
like Indian stores, where we particularly get, and we also have some online like anarchy.com, say for example,
Okay.
so
So
to get it.
okay.
But generally they are expensive.
So did you get full-time job immediately after finishing your masters?
No, unfortunately I graduated in the year 2020,
Mm-hmm.
where COVID happened and everything was shut down. So it was really challenging time for not just to me, to all of us,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get a full-time job. It was really challenging.
yeah, that's
Hiring
true.
was process was slowed down, but
Hmm.
eventually we all got.
Yeah. Okay. To get a full-time job, do we need French?
Yes, French is very important when it comes to France. because it is the only official language, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
To get a full-time job, it depends on a lot of factors. If you ask me, is French mandatory? Without French, you don't get any jobs? No, it is not mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
If you apply for MNCs, there are a lot of multinational companies who offer jobs without knowing French. But then you have to be very competent enough. You have to have the business knowledge, technical knowledge. You have to upgrade yourselves with all the latest tools which the company is using.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are well versed in all of these things, then yes, you can end up in a MNC which doesn't need any French. But there are the options or the number of companies are lesser comparatively.
Yeah, got
So
it.
it is highly recommended to learn French to get a job. It is very important. Or eventually, if you want to live in France, just to integrate, French is very, very important. So it is better to learn French.
Yeah. So, what is your suggestion for new coming students for France?
Now, learn French. Primary thing and most important thing is to learn French. Update your resumes, LinkedIn profiles. Have a good industry knowledge in whichever master's degree which you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Explore what is the latest technology which is coming up or what are the tools they are using. So upgrade yourselves on all these aspects. Make a good resume or make a good CV.
Mm-hmm.
Try to do a lot of projects in those areas so that you not just have the theoretical knowledge but also have the practical knowledge.
Okay.
So, but and also don't focus on the just the part times, because they take a lot of energy and time, and you end up having time to build a good career.
Yeah, that's very
So
true.
don't forget the main point which you came for France. So
Yeah.
that is important. Is what I feel.
Okay. Thank you. Last question. How many years of visa you get during masters and after masters to search for a jobs?
Okay, so basically 2 years of visa. First, you get it for 1 year. That is in passport. It will be stamped for 1 year, and then you can renew it again.
Okay.
And then post study, you have 2 more years. If
Mm-hmm.
you are an Indian,
Mm-hmm.
you have 2 more years. It depends on the nationality as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that is,
So
you
I
have two more
think
years
now it has
to
been changed
search.
to
That is
three
job
years,
search
right?
visa to search for a job.
Okay. So now for the job search visa has been changed to 3 years, right? For Indians.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your precious time and valuable information.
Thank you so much for choosing me. Well, I have shared all my personal opinions
Yeah.
regarding studies in France.
Yeah, that's
So
very
thank you so much.
insightful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we have covered most of the questions. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll cover all of the questions. We'll meet next week with a new video. Until then, your Godavari Abbai is signing off. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.